Good afternoon, WSSEA. We are live one more time with the final week of the regular season for Splatoon 3. We got Ferndale, we got Tenino. Should be a great game. Once again, my name's Spicy. Joining the mic here with Neptune. How are we doing today?
Doing fantastic today. So overall, I believe these teams are going to be playing each other as they're going to be attending, I believe, the state championships as well coming up soon. But to quickly talk about our sponsors here, we got to give a shout out to Zotac here because Zotac Gaming is powering today's stream. Thanks to their incredible support, we're able to bring this broadcast live to you all, helping you showcase the amazing talents in Scholastic Esports. If you want to show your appreciation for Zotac Gaming by giving them a shout out on social media, make sure to join their community on Discord and don't forget to use the hashtag powered by Zotac or hashtag Zotac USA when you post.
Yeah, always a big shout out to Zotac Gaming, being a big part of really the stream here, as well as WSSEA as a whole. And here we are, last week of the regular season. These two teams will be playing in state championships in about 11 days. So a lot to really talk about here. Both these teams want to go into that with some momentum. And it looks like Tenino did win the coin toss as well. And for tower control as the first mode being locked in, they had decided to go ship-shaped cargo for game one.
Ship-shaped cargo is a classic tower control map and perfectly demonstrates the concept of what we call the snowball effect, right? As you ride that tower, you passively get more special charge and able to just basically you just create a snowball effect or an avalanche, if you want to say, where you just get more specials, more picks, and then it just runs out of control from there. So yeah, that's typically what I'm going to expect from this game mode, especially since I've seen a lot of WSSEA blowouts, especially on tower control. But things can get close, things can get a little dicey at times. But at the end of the day, both these teams are going to be attending state championships, so this is more of a seeding match, if anything else. So it kind of brings that storyline, Spicy, where like, man, you want to get this upper hand here, but there is that breathing room here, but you don't want to rely on it. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And not only is this a seeding match, these two teams have a good chance to actually play each other in the playoffs at the state championship. So not only is it seeding, but it's also like a scouting game here too. So watch us end up just going the distance, go all 5 games, just so these teams have a feeling, okay, we know what this team wants to do. We know how we're going to end up counteracting it. But here we go. We get a chance to see what we got. Ferndale here in the yellow, Tenino here in the blue. Let's see what we got from the comps. And then Neptune, as we always ask, what immediately will stick out to you?
Immediately, it's going to be that E-Leader here. E-Leader is one of the strongest weapons to bring on tower control, as oftentimes riding that tower means you're going to be up in the open areas, and that E-Leader is going to be prime pickings for picking off these opponents riding the tower here. But immediately, look at this, the aggressive plays here from Tenino as well. Immediately getting that pick, using that Booyah Bomb, hardly 50 seconds into the match. This is already Special City here, Spicy.
Yeah, and the first checkpoint is going to go to Tenino if this countdown goes. No one in the sight here. It is just Chef Caleb here riding the towers. Ferndale tries to find a stop, and they do get a good way to get it stopping as the tower goes towards the 55 here from Tenino. Matter of seeing what Ferndale's going to be able to do. Everyone is bunched up on the tower so far, and Baconator here on the E-Leader might have a chance to not only set up beacons, but also go for some shots as they try to stop this push.
Definitely. You definitely saw them pick off that one person on tower initially riding here, but now this Octobrush is kind of playing outside the line of sights here. They're waiting for their team to come up support, and the E-Leader is actually going to start brawling it out and turn into the Kraken already to just stop that push immediately. Beautiful use of that Kraken to be able to just stop a push as well as just allow your teammates to extend, but no, look at this. There's still a few members left. They're all jumping in, Spicy. It looks like we have a map reversal here.
It does look like a map reversal, and what an interesting set of plays that we just witnessed. Ferndale is rocking a comp that is very in your face and close and personal, and you see the delayed wipe start to go in their favor as Ferndale now has jumps, as well as the Trizuka here from Rainwater, trying to just see if they can land any of these shots, and a few more members of Ferndale able to keep pushing on forward. Baconator trying to be the last line of defense here, but it's not going to work as Ferndale still is able to take this lead.
Definitely able to take this lead right here. Barely not being able to get that pick here is absolutely critical here for Ferndale. Getting this lead here, getting through this last checkpoint. Things are going to get really dangerous here. Tenino needs these picks right now. Otherwise, things are going to get dicey. But look at this, Spicy. It's exactly what they need at the right time. A wipeout.
Yeah, perfect set of momentum here in tower control without watching as the tower is going to revert back to mid. But you do see two specials, three specials in play from Tenino here. Kraken getting popped out early here from Bacon there, just trying to be a way to just keep this tower moving. Two members from Ferndale are going to go down in the process here. It is just this Aerospray who is going to be able to find the wipe, stop the bleeding there as Ferndale once again. Fern doing a great job there, able to put the stops on the tower here as well as this tower is going to keep moving forward into Tenino territory.
It's going to keep moving forward, but you have to keep watching out for that leader, which is why they pop that Zipcaster here to displace this leader, make them back up so they can't get any clear shots out that tower, as well as displace right here. You can see how this momentum just quickly ran out of control here and led to Ferndale wiping them out and taking home game number 1 here, Spicy.
Yeah, and it was a very scrappy game one from both sides. In the end, Ferndale is able to get that first game. Tenino did get the opening lead there, and they look pretty solid so far. But Ferndale, you just look at that comp, especially just seeing how well it really just plays in those scrappy moments and able to just navigate, win those close quarters, and then, hey, end up getting the lead here early on after game one.
Yeah, definitely. Now we're going to be going into Clan Blitz, I believe, here. So now it's going to be Tenino's turn, I believe, to get that counter pick going here. And there's a lot of different clam options I can see here, especially since they have a lot of in-your-face weapons, as you said earlier. We had a shot, we had an Aerospray. Aerospray is typically seen as a weapon that's more playing for support, playing more for the paint, but no, it was up in your face and aggressive and making plays to be able to allow their teammates to jump in. And then that Octo Brush there, that critical Zipcaster, pushing that lead leader out of line of sight for that tower, leading to that wipeout and the knockout there at the end of the day. And that was just absolutely beautiful, Spicy. Couldn't have seen it better myself.
It really was. Like, you think about how E-Leader is played, especially in WSSEA, and how, like, dominating it can be sometimes if you give it the space there. But Ferndale just did a great job of taking away all space possible. He didn't really see Bacon there have any space to set up whatsoever. You saw them trying to go for some different lines, trying to see how they're going to be able to take sight at the tower. But even though Ferndale is, like, clumped up for a lot of the game, they were able to just, like, get moments, get some rushes in, and see how that goes. Now we're still waiting on the map here for Clan Blitz, and I'm curious to see how these teams now approach it. We see a lot of these teams now have like a lot of different painting options from both these teams, so map control is going to be something they're going to look forward to. And they saw the brush spell well from Ferndale, so an option there just to see how they're going to be able to get to the tower and to the basket when they also just have a lot of speed, I would say, on that comp.
Yeah, a lot of speed, a lot of mobility. It just allows you to run around and pick up clans more effectively. Meanwhile, you have Tenino over here with an E leader, which is very big, bulky, wants to set up, just kind of wants to sit in that very much area and just patrol areas of the map with its line of sight and that one shot that it brings to the table here. Now, E leader can be a good weapon for clan blitz. It's just definitely going to be a lot harder considering if one player goes down, that puts a lot of pressure on the E leader to hit those shots as well. And when pressure is on, Spicy, that can either mean you're making diamonds or you're going to collapse and fall apart.
That is true, and E-Leader is just one of those weapons. There's just the Charger class as a whole is just kind of just about that style, where it's like, yeah, with the exception of like the pencil, the sniper rider, it's you get that one shots, and it's about hitting that shot and getting the picks there. And E-Leader, you get all that range. Matter seeing can you do well at this, and it would be such a great thing here for Tenino, especially on the defensive end. They're able to just limit Ferndale's options from getting towards the basket, but even from an offensive end, it opens up so much space for their team to get picks as well as get towards the basket here. And there's a lot of theory crafting ideas going on. Tenino putting a lot of thoughts into what they're going to be picking into this game too. They picked game one's map, Ship Cargo. So real curious to see what they end up picking now for Clan Blitz.
Yeah, for sure. It's very curious here, dude. You want to take your time with your counter picks here. You really want to put your opponent on the back foot while giving yourself the best possible map mode as well. And we talked about good leader maps. I saw Barnacle on there as well as Crab Leg, right? Both maps that are very open line of sights, not a lot of cover. You're going to have to expose yourself quite a bit. And if that leader does get set up, it's going to be very difficult to dislodge as well. And even we had to talk about the Kraken, right, as well. That was the Kraken E leader as well. So if the leader has Kraken, Kraken and you start running it down, it's going to transform into that Kraken, become invincible, and start chasing you away. And then it's also the fact that they can use it for pushes as well. Oh, hey, this giant invincible special is going to break through this area, force you to move, and that is when your team is able to move in as well. So we're kind of just in this bit of a chess moment where you're trying to anticipate how you want to play around the E-leader while you have an advantageous situation and being able to choose which piece you want to move. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely, yeah. And like you mentioned, like the what the Kraken is able to do. You saw that Tenino's E-leader was willing to not just use it for when they're pressured. They want to the E-leader just wants to go up in towards the other team and they will pop the Kraken. They used it as a way to stop the tower push, just to
Mm.
like really give a sense like even hey, like E-leader, like you don't typically see it as an aggressive weapon in that sense, but hey, sometimes it has its options, sometimes it has its moments. Scorch Gorge was going to be the map that is locked in here from Tenino. What are your thoughts going into this game too then?
Okay, going into Clam Scorch. This is a very interesting pick here because I feel like this is a great E-leader map, but I wouldn't call this the best E-leader map, mainly because
Mhm.
that middle section right here. It's we already talked about leader being kind of like this double-edged sword, essentially, where if it gets set up, it's very oppressive, very difficult to remove. But at the same time, if you deny the leader that space, it's very difficult to get it back as well because you have to pinch around the sides and you have only so many bodies and abilities to do that. There's a lot of make or break situations when you go for this leader gambit, as I like to call it. But we'll see if it pays off here, Spicy.
Yeah, and now here we are loading in the game too. A chance not just see what weapons are we going to have, and also what is the playstyle going to shift to. Ferndale rocking the same comp. Tenino is going to switch off the E-leader entirely, and they are rocking a very fast comp themselves. And you see Baconator swapping weapons completely. We went from the E-leader to the M Parry Splat Dualies.
And Parry Splat Dualies, a fan favorite, a treat for the eyes as well, because that dodge roll gives so much expression, that splashdown allows so much continuation as well. But look at this, we already have a power clamp running away from the other opponent. It's going straight for the basket here. The defense had an opening and they took advantage of that, but you only got one power clamp and a wipeout here, and Tenino is able to take advantage and potentially take space with this.
Yeah, and they have a lot of clams too. Baconator is going to pick up the pity, but you also see that Chef Caleb as well as Dr. Pepper do have a lot themselves. They're trying to see if they have an opportunity to get towards that basket. We see two of the members of Tenino go down. The splashdown is available, but they have the pity clam as well. Zipcaster coming in though, and is going to find the pick as the splashdown goes, as Fern is able to stay alive here, and Ferndale is able to limit a potential Tenino push so far. The Reef Slider coming in, the Booyah as well. A lot of specials flying on the map so far.
Special for special, pick for pick. It is Scrap City already here. And oh my goodness, the ball toss just barely missed right now. That's going to be huge for Tenino right there. But the splash up is going to be able to secure one. We're able to trade in for space in specials here, but you need Clam Spicy if you want to be able to take the lead here.
Yeah, that is such a tragic miss from Tenino. Just a little bit short there, a little low, and it's going to lead to Tenino only being one up at this point. Ferndale having an opportunity to get another push here as well. Smoke moving on towards that basket. They are going to be able to score despite losing down their members as well. A few more clams starting to funnel their way in as Tenino looks for an answer. Two members of Ferndale are up at this point. The basket looks like it will close here, so a little bit of stopping the bleeding here now, but Tenino needs some clams if they want to make a push.
They definitely need clams, but they also need our picks and spaces as well. Because Ferndale's playing the more rat game here. They're just bypassing defenses, finding these openings, and opting for the points right here. As we see right now, the Booyah Bomb comes out and already shutting that down. Caught out there, Chef Caleb. Chef's kiss right there, Spicy.
Yeah, the awareness, the presence of mind to turn around mid Booyah Bomb and to just shut down the opportunity for Ferndale to get the push. It does stall out for Tenino though, as you see that a power clamp is going to fizzle out there. Not a great thing here for Tenino. We are already halfway through this game in terms of time. Tenino has yet to score one member up here at this point. It is Justice and Parry who is doing everything they can to stay alive, but they get shut down. The jump is going to get punished out as well. The lane wipe effectively here as Ferndale looks to go towards the basket one more time, trying to see if they can get any more.
Definitely getting that more clams already. And we gotta highlight the brush strength here as well. You saw the Octo Brush not really having much paint up there at front, but using that roll mode as well to essentially bypass that. And then we have an Ink Brush right here, which is a lot more mobile and a lot more faster right here, but you're gonna need clams in space to be able to do it here. Beautiful flank right there, but it gets shut down. It just seems like Ferndale's defense is just on par right here. And while Tenino is starting to catch up, there's only so much time left in the game here, Spicy.
Yeah, 90 seconds. This is a doable push here for Tenino, but Ferndale's going to keep finding a way towards the basket. Do you see how Ferndale will constantly have these members of their team to distract while also letting up another opportunity? The basket just keeps getting flanked at this point, but it also leaves another pity clam here for Tenino. If they get a push, if they get a wipe, get some map control, something big could happen here, but Ferndale once again finding the two down. You see them making another push towards the basket. They find another wipe, and they should have some clams getting passed around to each other to maybe form one more power clam, and they score again.
Scoring once again right here. We're having a situation where we're just kind of playing for trades a lot of the time. But hey, a wipeout here already is going to give Tenino an opportunity to potentially turn things around. You have no points on the board, but that's also a benefit here. You don't have any penalty to work through. You just need the right situation and the right timing right there. We saw the splashdown come out. The Grush is going for clams, and Baconator is popping off right here, getting a full wipeout. And this is what you need, Spicy, to turn things around.
Yeah, a lot of clams in play. You also see that the Brush has the hammer available. We're suddenly down to only a 15-point lead here. This is starting to funnel in. One more clam, the tie would be enough here. And as a matter of seeing, can they get towards this basket? Tenino trying to do something here with this hammer. You see that Dr. Pepper is going to be able to find it, but they get shut down right before they have an opportunity. There was no other clams in play as Ferndale is able to hold on here in game 2.
Oh my goodness, that is a hold your breath moment here if you are Ferndale right there. Very quickly, you were in control for majority of that game. Then the final 90 seconds started ticking down right there. Tenino realized, hey, we need to go and do something, and that's exactly what Baconator did. Just walk up into that basket, get those splats immediately. Instead of opting for the Ferndale hit and run strategy, we just cleared out the entire space, so we had all that opportunity to score clams right there. And then 2 more clams would have swapped the lead. It was just really unfortunate the spawns were not in their favor right there, and that gave just enough time for Ferndale to set up their defense and get those crucial picks right there. But wow, talk about a heart stopper there, Spicy.
Yeah, that was, and like, I think that's such an crucial stop there for Ferndale. You look at what would have happened if Tenino would have won. This would have been a 1-1 set to this point. Now Ferndale he is here on match point, and what an ending really that was here. Tenino was trying so hard for so much of the game, but Ferndale just kept like ticking away, keep like slapping at the basket, essentially just throwing those jabs. Tenino tried to respond with the haymaker, and it just didn't come enough there. Just 2 clams short to end up getting the win. We are going to turf war here for game 3. Tenino is once again picking the counter pick, and they have a lot of options here, not just with the map, but also with their weapon pool, it seems.
Yeah, for sure. Because I feel like you want to take the E-Leader gambit here on Turf War, especially a lot of players that I see in NA League that typically do run leader typically shelve that away for something else as well. Because as great as E-Leader is as getting picks, it's not the objective of this game mode. It's here about area control, map control. Right, you have to get enough paint on the ground, and if anything goes wrong, E-Leader is very much out of luck to be able to do anything to turn things around. But in Turf War, we have to worry about that last minute, how much map coverage is around and holding that space here. It's something you see a lot going on recently with the Nintendo North American League as well, but we'll have to see how this plays out here on Wahoo World, Spicy.
Yeah, we see a lot of Wahoo World here in Turf War. Ferndale with the same comp again. And you see Tenino rocking the same comp here as well, just using what they used here in Clan Blitz. They knew it was close. They knew it was probably good for this map. And now also seeing just the immediate opening from both these teams. Ferndale opting to paint more at the base. Tenino looking to just go rush towards mid.
Yeah, definitely. This is quite the contrast here from both teams already. Opting for an opportunity to take more space in pushing mid, and meanwhile Ferndale's going to play the long game with focusing more on spawn right here as well. But unfortunate pick right there as well if you're on Tenino as well. But never mind, trading it out pick for pick. The Zuka comes out there getting another one as well. But look at this, Spicy. A lot of mid control is over in Tenino's favor because of that opening play there.
Yeah, and the Reef Slide are going to come through, not going to be able to find the pick here. And you see that Tenino is doing a great job so far of just securing mid. And you know that by securing mid, it allows the rest of the team to funnel in, just paint the rest of their base as they spawn back in after losing those initial fights. Two specials in play here from the side of Tenino. You have the Splashdown, you have the Booyah Bomb already and PvE loaded. Ferndale, not really anywhere to be seen at this point. Have to wonder where they are. You're starting to see at least one person trying to go towards mid. The Rush getting some big hits here. The Booyah Bomb going to come in towards mid again. And you see the trade coming out here, potentially, and Sprinkler being thrown here as well. A lot happening so far as we approach the halfway point of this game. And another pick here from Tenino.
Definitely. We had that arrow spray on Tenino there, patrolling a lot of mid right there as well. We did see Tenino go into danger here, so we're going to be seeing a Ferndale going to lay on a little bit more pressure, especially with the Zuka getting a crucial pick right here. We're going to be approaching this last minute right here, and holding mid as well as a lot of your spawn paint right here is setting Ferndale up for success here, Spicy.
Yeah, the Booyah Bomb gonna come in now from Tenino. You know that the hammer is in play here from this Rush. If it's able to find picks, it's gonna lead to some big moments here as well. One member going to be down from each side here, but the danger is still in play from the side of Tenino. Though you look at this map though, and Ferndale is also deep into Tenino territory.
Deep into Tenino territory indeed here. It's going to be make or break in these last moments. These last couple of fights are going to be absolutely critical here. Ferndale already had going one down here, and we can see the other members of Tenino slowly clicking in and picking up these members one by one. It's just this Octobrush here opting to hold the paint as well, and slowly but surely this paint battle might be the reason why they come out on top, Spicy.
Yeah, 30 seconds to go. The danger is still in play. Splashdown going to come through, but no picks in sight. The Brush still has the hammer, and you have to see where these picks are going to go. This team fight could change everything here, but it's a matter of seeing can they get anything else off of it. The Brush is down now from the side of Tenino, and you see that Ferndale's got to be all up. It is just this Dooley who is not the painting player you want. They're going deep into territory, but Elam is the rest of the aerospace, and they're going to be able to put the danger up, and with that in sight here, Ferndale is going to end their regular season here with a 3-0 win.
3-0 win indeed. I believe that's going to bring their record up to, I believe, a 4-4, giving them quite a bit of a leg up and when it comes to seeding in the championships that are coming up there, Spicy. But before we get into that, you got to talk about these teams and how beautifully they played that Turf War game right there. Just, I love Ferndale's approach of like slow and steady wins the race here. We're going to do what is required, pay our spawn, slowly push up, not push too far past mid, but we're going to take these fights together. Meanwhile, we kind of had a bit of a gambit play from Tenino there as well, where we just wanted to take as much space as possible and lock it down. It just did not pay off there, unfortunately. But at the end there, anything could have happened. It's just Ferndale played the slow and steady game, the macro game, just a little bit better there.
They really did, and from that opening itself, like you saw that a lot of Tenino's gameplay in Turf War was kind of centered around mid. Ferndale also, not only were they getting their base, they also were getting a lot of the Tenino base. And that was something that you really couldn't tell was happening until we saw the overhead, and then you saw like the dangers really started to happen there. Because a lot of Tenino, you saw them kind of just protecting mid, and like that works in zones and all that. But then you see like they basically just got surrounded by yellow paint, and it's not something you see like every day here, but great stuff really from both these teams. Both newer programs here as well. They are going into the state championship with some momentum, some great stuff. Really happy to see that. We're also happy to see LandFest because this broadcast is part of LandFest Scholastic Esports program, a program that supports this league and many others. Since launching, LandFest has delivered over 300 broadcasts of Scholastic leagues in Washington and Indiana. We provide these broadcasts free of charge to the leagues, schools, and teams we cover, and your generous donations make this all possible. As a reminder, every $200 raised covers the operating costs for one regular season broadcast. So if you appreciate our work, scan the QR code on screen and donate today.
Huge shout out to Landfest. They're helping us power today's stream along with Zotac Gaming here. But we have one more announcement here for you today here. We mentioned it earlier, but WSSEA High School State Championships. When is this happening? May 16th, 9 a.m. Pacific at Alderwood Mall, Linwood, Washington State. It's going to be beautiful, spicy. They're going to have not only Splatoon 3, which we saw here tonight, but you're going to see Overwatch, you're going to see Smash Bros, you're going to see all the games that we typically stream here on this channel live in a LAN environment in person to determine who is the champion for each of these titles and gets to take the crown.
Yeah, it's so exciting here. The spring season all culminates here at a LAN, and we both know this, especially with Splatoon. There is nothing better than playing on LAN, not just from the gameplay side of things, but the atmosphere itself. I'm really happy for these kids. They're all gonna have such a good time. But unfortunately for us, that will wrap up the coverage here online for WSSEA's regular season. But before we go away, Neptune, always a pleasure doing this with you. Where can the great viewers find you?
You can find me at Neptune-TV over on Blue Sky. I've typically worked the collegiate scene for Splatoon as well. And I'm going to be attending a couple of East Coast lands as well coming up here. There's going to be one happening in New York, and there's going to be a couple other ones, I believe, in Philly coming up later in the fall season. But that's all from me here, Spicy. Where can the fine people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on various socials at 2SpicyBM or at 2SpicyMK. Land-wise, I'll be traveling a little bit as well throughout these summer months and into the fall. Really excited to just be all over the East Coast here. But until then, that wraps up the WSSEA coverage. If you want to tune in, we will be back again May 16 to have just the championships here. Until then, we will see you next time.